Welcome to Mikali Talks, and in Tweever Studios we just switched things up. Where are the couches? Has the Yuko? Because today we are feeling some type of way. And also because I have more guests on set. So it's exciting to just see how they can play around with their space to make sure that your needs are catered for. Karibuni sana Mikali Talks. Today I have two of my friends here, colleagues. Some have been my bosses here and there, directing me and doing things. Others, to find out tukienda. But I have Ndeda and Wakio Mzenge in the building. Award-winning actors, actresses, sound actors, stage actors, TV actors,
sound actors.
I'm gonna stuck on that.
Voice actors. Welcome guys.
Thank you.
Welcome guys. Do you like my set?
Yes.
It's very, very fancy. I like the chairs.
Yes.
The chairs.
Yes, I like them too.
I love the ambiance.
Oh, fantastic.
And what's in my cup. I like that too.
Oh yeah, you do? There's actually something in the cup, but
There
I don't know.
is. There is.
There is. Okay. So I am glad mlikubali wito, and probably we'll get deeper into why the two of you were the right candidates for this particular conversation. We're talking about intimacy, and we do not promise that this will just be 18 and whatever. It can go either way.
Cool.
Are you guys ready?
70 plus.
Are you even 70? You're not even 70, so we'll just go with 30 plus. But we're talking about intimacy, and how this came about is conversation. I was at the shop, so my baggage shop in town, and I was having a conversation with two of my colleagues there, and we're just talking about intimacy and how sometimes, especially when women are going through the cycle, I get very irritated when you can't sort of like read my mind, or I want to be touched, but then don't press, don't like it's just. And then when I say I feel like I want something sweet, I chocolate, just try, bring everything, and for me, it's just maybe a bit too much. But then that conversation now gave birth to intimacy generally in the sense of the word, where you're in a relationship, how we communicate that to our partners, how they communicate back, the things that we assume are obvious because we are women or because they are men. We assume that the two all probably just come from one side, or probably if I write a note or it has to be extra, I have to be wearing God knows what, it's just on Valentine's, all those things put together. And I was just like, maybe it's a conversation to have. And the reason the two of you are here is because you've been in long-term relationships, married, and yeah, I'm sure this conversation probably came up somewhere. And you're good conversationalists, and of course, you're my friends and all of those things.
And we're award-winning as well.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just start with what does probably the word intimacy mean to you?
I'm curious to know what Nick thinks about intimacy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Okay. What do I think? What intimacy means to me?
Yeah.
I guess it would be. I want to say it's like being open. Yes, that's the word.
We're struggling.
Just when he said it sounded so wrong.
But this,
yeah,
you see, because you all have dirty minds. I'm talking about being open, like revealing your true desires. Okay. And I say that because when I think of intimacy, I'm not just thinking like in the bed.
Yeah, because most of the times
I'm thinking like sharing secrets. I'll use the word secrets for purposes of conversation, but like sharing stuff that I would never tell anybody else. Okay. I wouldn't tell my parents, I wouldn't tell my brother, but I would tell my person. Okay. Because I'm like revealing, yes, exposing a layer of yourself, exposing a layer of yourself that no one else sees. No one else apart from you.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, think about it this way.
What?
The way
so
you
confused
see
when you say apart from you.
No, like apart from yourself. Okay, the word is yourself.
Okay.
Like, when you're in the room by yourself, or maybe when you're in the shower, I think this one's more relatable. When you're in the shower and you're having those thoughts that you never share with anybody.
Yeah.
So intimacy is being able to share that side of yourself with someone because you trust that they will not use it against you and that they will not go out there and spill the beans, which is very ironic because now that I've said that, I've thought about everyone I've been intimate with, and I think 90% of them used it against me. So that's weird. I just realized that. I literally just realized that
So
right
you
now.
were vulnerable with them to that extent, but then it was used against you. Was it used publicly or just directly against you?
One time it was used publicly, but other times, no, it's just the way someone can say something, and I'm like, but that was in confidence.
Yeah.
Like, because I can talk about this because I think everyone knows this.
Okay.
When I dated this girl, right, who was very, very cool. And she was very, very strong as well. So strong that...
Like physically? Or
Physically, yes. I'm talking physical, like she was
muscled up.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And so there was a time in town. Okay, for context purposes, this is so important. She's tall and she has short hair like me, right? And she's very strong. So unajua vile the guys in matatus, so I'm like, trying to get you into the matatu. So I'm walking behind her. And then so I'm like, hey, brother, come. So she turns, and then the conductor realizes, oh, it's a girl. So he's like, oh, Pole. And then she looks at us and is like, Nick, are you gonna do something? I'm like what? So you won't hit him? He just called me a boy. I'm like, I think it was an honest mistake, and also it was from back. She's like, you see, this is why I always slap you. And then the conductor was like, oh. Then I was like, why? Why would you say that in public? I mean, yes, she did. I mean, we were...
You used to have a slapping thing going on.
Is it like... Was it like...
No, it wasn't slapping at you for fun.
I was it intimacy? I was gonna go there.
This was not intimacy. This was just she would slap me like when she was angry. She would just be like,
I'm sorry.
Stop now. Wakio.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
You find
I don't find it
domestic
funny.
violence?
No.
Wow. You find...
This is very...
No,
we're kidding.
it's just the way he said it.
Yeah.
Like, because he started by describing what intimacy means. So when it came to this story of slapping, it almost felt like,
Because
like it was
maybe,
a kinky thing that you guys used to enjoy. Like it was a communicating element of now, let's get it on.
I'm gonna slap you.
I'm so sorry.
So it was that was the context in which that you ulianikwa mbele hata madonda.
But how is that even intimacy? Because I don't even...
Because
it
how is that a
happens...
private moment that was so important to you? The slapping thing is not a private moment.
It wasn't.
You need to have taken a P3.
Well, I never thought about that because I was in love.
Oh.
And when you're in love, you do things like those. I don't know. But it's the reason why I consider it like I mentioned that particular story is because I don't think it wasn't, she didn't do it. She wasn't like violent. I like chapaying this guy.
Yeah.
That's how when she was because she'd get very angry by things. I think it's because she played rugby. I don't know. But she would get really angry and she has to let it out somehow. So the slaps were ziliza. If I said the wrong thing, she would slap me. She would apologize afterwards. But then I was like, just don't be saying that stuff out in public. Like it was weird. I don't know.
Okay, I see what you mean. Because this is something that is happening behind closed doors. And yes, probably it's not something that you're okay with, but it's happening. And we are adults enough to know that ni sawa basi, tusiseme basi uko nje unanifanyanga hivi.
I'm of the opinion that if something is not right, you should not tolerate it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But in the case, it was already happening. You understand? It was already happening. It's in the past. So it's just, you don't take it out.
For me, it's just closeness. It's that closeness to a point where you are extremely vulnerable and comfortable with this person, to share your thoughts, to share your, almost similar to what Nick said, to share your ideas, to bounce off, just to and it's both emotionally and physically at the same time. Okay. It's a mashup of the two, but it's that moment where, or it's that moment that the two of you or you with that person are naked.
Okay.
Basically,
So to speak.
so to speak, you're naked. Like there's nothing to hide, and we understand how we communicate. There's this I'll say and that I'll say, and there's ways that we comfort each other. It's that moment where we're absolutely naked and unashamed.
Would you say it's that easy to achieve? Is it something that is, as long as we're together, then we are intimate? If that's how we are looking at it.
Intimacy and relationship are on the same WhatsApp group. They
Okay.
need a lot of hard work
Yeah.
and a lot of commitment from both parties. And some of the things that usually hinder that intimate moment to come alive is that we are not able to communicate with each other, or we are having violent moments, or
And then she laughed.
I know, and looked at you. Did you see that?
I saw
Okay,
it. I saw it. Wow.
or we're having financial pressures or work pressures, education pressures. All these things can hinder that communication to happen well.
Okay.
But it's in simple things that intimacy can be achieved. Sometimes it's just a gaze.
Okay.
Sometimes just a graze on someone's knee. I did a play where I was grazing someone's knee. Anyway, a graze on someone's knee, or just some simple words that communicate something deeper for the two of you. Okay. Like personally, when I hear, come here, ooh.
That's it.
I'm like,
There's a way. I think I relate.
Yeah,
there's just a way it's said.
Exactly. It means I've opened up the opportunity for you to come close to me, for you to be comfortable around me. So, and those things happen because I know like there are spouses who would be like, socks yangu ya blue iko happy. That's communication. I am coming to the room to look for that blue socks. Because it's a thing between us. Like,
so even having those coded languages between yourself
because
that nobody else knows.
Absolutely, especially as parents. You know, when your parents and your kids are there and you're trying to get moments with each other, not necessarily to end up into intercourse, but just those moments of cuddling and just being together and sharing some secrets or things about your day or fantasies or whatever. Then you need to step aside from being the parent and being, the partner. So you have to look for those little words or expressions that, and that's a turn on, honestly. Yeah. Like, when we're the only ones who know what's going on. That's really exciting.
So it's very special as well.
Yeah.
So we're moving away from intimacy means bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But for dudes,
For
for guys, you'll find Jama says, me and Ani are intimate. It's just used carelessly. And when we think about intimacy in the words that we've explained here today, most of the times people would associate that with the woman feminine side of things, of communicating intimacy. We'll want the hug. Most of the times we don't think about the guy and his needs when it comes to intimacy, and even them expressing it, saying it.
I like hugs. Just putting it out there.
Okay.
If you see me on the streets,
just hug a boy
give
child.
me a hug. But wait, COVID, so maybe not.
Okay, maybe.
Sorry. Wow.
So the communication bit of it, especially for a guy to be able to say, you see what I'm looking at. So let me give you a scenario. And this came up in that conversation where you'd hug a guy or probably just want to cuddle. And then immediately this guy knows, Mechi is on in the next. I'm giving it 2 minutes of just holding you like this and then I'm good to go. And probably at that moment, all I really want now is for you to just hold me and just be in that position without moving or anything.
Yeah, I totally get that. And it's like what Wakio said about communication, because I feel that when it comes to intimacy and guys, if we don't communicate.
How would you communicate?
How would I communicate?
Yes, how would you, or how have you, what was it like, Would it be easy to just say, I want a hug today, I want a cuddle? It would be direct, hey, today am I getting some, am I uko game, am I whatever?
So back in the days,
Yeah.
I used to expect people to read my mind.
Ha.
So I was like, I don't have to say this stuff. And then I found myself very, very dissatisfied in relationships. So nowadays, I adopted a very old school method of I just say what I say what I would like, and I ask in return what they would like.
Oh.
Because I dated this girl who was serious. To this day, I'm still fascinated by the fact that turning her on was the hardest job ever, until I discovered that she has a thing for feathers.
Ha.
Yes, feathers.
Okay.
Like if I had a feather and I tickled her with it,
That's it.
that's it. That's
Damn.
it. So much so that I used to have like a bunch of feathers in my room. My mom one day came and was like, "Why do you have all these feathers? Did you murder a chicken and hid it?" I'm like,
Like different sizes, kuna ya ostrich.
yeah, and because now, you see, the thing was, she had to tell me, because we'd have makeout sessions. I'm like, oh, this is so hot. I'm so turned on. She's just like, yeah, sure. Then it's like, do you want to do this sex or not? Like, she was that point blank. And so I asked her, why is it that you'd never seem interested? It's like, it's because this stuff doesn't turn me on. You want to be intimate with me? Get me a feather. She used to like being tickled with a feather somewhere else too.
Oh my
That's
God.
a story for another day. My point is,
70 plus.
you must communicate. You must communicate. So I am of this school of thought where when it comes to matters concerning intimacy, I tell my partner, these are the things I like, these are the things I don't like, because I don't like the miscommunicate, and I can't assume things.
Plus, I think when you get older, it's a bit different now. It's just like, I'll just say, yeah.
I don't have time to.
Let's just put it out
Yeah.
there.
Plus, I think people should just wait for marriage. Anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Wakio, I believe you.
Anyway, I want to talk in the context of marriage.
Okay.
As spouses, I think it is absolutely wrong, absolutely unfair, and actually even evil for you to create an environment where the person feels like we are heading somewhere and then you're not. Like,
Just elaborate that, yes.
like, if you guys usually have the thing of let's watch a movie, which is usually supposed to lead to that moment.
Okay.
Because most people do that. Like, you watch a movie, you really don't watch movies, you just sleep, you cuddle, then the dish. However, if you are that, and you know this is the communication that happens between myself and my spouse.
Okay.
And then you watch that movie, you get to that point, you cuddle with this person, and then when you go to your room, you're like, me, I just feel like to sleep. Shame on you.
But maybe that day I really just feel like I want to sleep.
No, you cannot do that with your spouse. It is immoral. In fact, it is pure evil. You cannot lead someone on and then leave them hanging. It's not right.
So if it's a communicated, you remember the blue socks
Yes,
story?
exactly.
So if I say blue socks and we go blue socksing, then if you nikata, then that's if it's a message.
That's what I meant.
But
that's
then
what I mean.
How then do I differentiate from the day that I actually really want to watch a movie?
Say it.
Okay.
Exactly. Because if we're already in that space where we are together,
Yes.
what hurts with you just telling the other person and not today? I don't feel
Okay, so today we are just Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even by the time they tell you,
I don't get that reference. I want to know.
the reference is the movie.
It's just the
movie
movie.
leads up to the event.
Yeah, just not overthink it.
Yeah. So the thing is, if we just want to watch a movie and you
Yes.
know that movie is usually our language,
Yes.
then you just tell him, by the way, not today, let's just watch it. Like, for real, siko hapo leo.
Okay.
Just be honest. Because, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
So
Out of curiosity, based on that, I just had this thought in my head. Do you think that for people who are married, is it, if I am not in the mood and you are in the mood, should I, because we're married, should I take one for the team? Like, even if I don't feel like
then I just go ahead.
But I
because
might as
your-
well do
your
it
game.
because you want it and you're half of the
Hell
union.
yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean?
Listen.
I learned
listen.
that too late in life, clearly.
Too late.
Too late, Nick.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of compromises that happen even before we started our relationship as a married couple.
Okay.
There are things that I probably wanted or dreamed of this man that this person will never have. But I compromised because there are other things that were more important that fit the bill. So there's already compromise in all relationships.
Okay.
And because there's compromise in all relationships, it doesn't make a difference. It's also the same thing when it comes to intimate moments. It will be unfair for me, well, if the other person is not ready to get intimate with me physically, because we can be intimate, that is not physical. But if I want to be physically intimate with this person and he is not willing to be intimate, it can be compromised either way. I can say, okay, fine. He's not in that mood. There's no point of getting him there. And okay, I can survive another day. He, on the other hand, can decide to make the compromise and say, I'm not in that mood, but let me, it's my wife. She's, she rarely is in this mood anyway. Let me jump on. I'm not saying that wives are rarely in the mood to be intimate.
We know
but yeah,
usually.
it just came off. But yeah, we know men are always like, ready.
So I like the way that you say compromise in both contexts, because we just look at it as mwenye anakubali na hakuwa willing ama hakuwa na feel wewe una compromise mingi.
Yeah,
so
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win because even the other person they have to calm themselves down to also understand that you're not willing and ready today and now for you to be able to do that. Yeah. But when we talk about intimacy, so we've tackled the physical beat of things, but then there's also the beat where we need to talk about how we are mentally. We need to be on the same page when it comes to intimacy, because there are people who are probably, say for example, a creative person, and a person you're in a relationship or married to someone who's not as creative as you are. So the way you express yourself about your needs is totally different from them. Getting to understand that maybe they will not be as vocal as I am, or probably I'm the one who's always, out there saying, this is what I need, this is what I want, and I want it this way. Understanding or lifting them up. Or people who are just generally shy and they can't quickly say, even ndio nataka hivi ama siwezi fanya hivi. Where's the balance in there? How do you create a balance in there?
But you're with this person.
Yeah, you are. But
yeah, so it means something. Like, how did you get to be with this person?
Yeah.
There was communication that happened until this person expressed themselves that they're interested in you, and you expressed your interest in that person. Whether someone is shy or not, or whatever they are, there are ways that they come. If they ended up having a girlfriend or ended up having a boyfriend, they must have communicated something.
Yeah.
It didn't just happen out of blue. So that person looks like he's shy, he doesn't want to say it, let me just be his girlfriend. No, they did make an effort to do something.
Yeah.
And when the relationship is starting out, it's an opportunity for you to know, how does this person communicate? Even if they don't say it with their words, maybe they do it with action, or they communicate somehow.
I see.
It's important and paramount for everyone to know how the other person communicates. Here's the tricky thing about being in relationships, is that I come from a place where I want to be loved a certain way, and you come from a place where you want to be loved a certain way. My responsibility to the person I'm in a relationship with is to love them the way they want to be loved. Not the way I
assume
know
or
how to love.
Yes.
Exactly. So once I figure out how they want to be loved, then I'm able to express how I feel about them in the way that they will understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you found yourself probably in a position where it's being used against you because you're more vocal in that way in a relationship than the other person? Or probably you want those moments more than the other person wants them?
You
Nick,
have?
I'm asking you.
Oh, me? No. It's not, well, maybe, because when I was in a relationship where I was not very vocal about a lot of things.
Okay.
So in not being vocal about stuff, it led to a lot of, like, we'd have fights that were based on, well, I don't know, you never say you don't like something, so how am I supposed to know? And I was
And you
always,
don't say no to it. So,
yeah.
I mean,
So yeah, I feel like, and that's the reason why I really advocate for just say what you feel, say what you want, say what you don't want.
Yeah.
Because now I ended up in situations whereby I'm like, I can't get you a gift because I don't know what you like. And I was always like, I like samosas, I like fries. That's
the whole world knows.
exactly right. And I was always like, that's enough. That's all I need. I'm not high maintenance. I consider myself a very low maintenance. Like, I am so low maintenance. Let's just say, listen, ladies, I'm very low maintenance. It doesn't take much to please me.
Okay.
But you see, that's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing.
Especially if I'm getting into a relationship knowing all I need to get you is fries and samosa.
Imagine.
Na Sanford walifungua?
Walifungua.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, see?
It,
But do you desire more? Is there?
So now that's a really good question, because I feel like nowadays I'm in the zone where I'm really discovering things I like. Because when I was married, I just used to put my wife first, and I was like, I'm good. I don't need much.
Okay.
So now nowadays I find myself like, sometimes I find things that really interest me, and I'm like, I didn't know that I liked something like this. Okay. I went on a date a while back, a few weeks ago, and I realized that I really hate rice. I've never realized, and because we went to a restaurant, and she was like, okay, let's have pilau. Then I was like, no, I don't want to eat rice. And I was like, why? I was like, I hate rice. And then she was like, what?
Who hates
rice? And I was like, I actually genuinely don't like it. She proceeded to order rice and ate it, and then never called me back. But whatever. Point was, this was about,
yes, like what?
I'm discovering things about myself.
Okay,
so like it's just me. The one thing I will keep on saying is you have to be vocal about.
You have to be vocal.
Unfortunately, sometimes when you are vocal about whatever you want or need, the other person does not pay attention.
That's the thing.
And it's very unfortunate. For instance, now I'd speak for myself. I love flowers.
Okay.
And you would literally have to tell somebody, I love flowers. You have tried, like, even in your home, you have put flowers.
You
in
bought
the toilet.
yourself.
You bought yourself flowers. You have even put flowers like in random places, even in your hair. Well, I don't have any, but
when you used to.
When I used to.
Yeah.
And then you communicate. You say,
I actually like flowers.
I love flowers.
Yeah.
Like, yo, spoil me with flowers, all sorts of flowers. And then the person you're communicating with does not reciprocate.
Yeah.
Just tell them again.
You see, the thing is, it gets very tiring to
It's
keep
exhausting.
repeating.
It's
And
very
then,
exhausting.
when you bring me the flowers, I'll be just like, you brought them because I said, I put a billboard, there was a placard every day, give me flowers.
So
why aren't they listening?
No, people have stressful days. Living in Kenya is difficult.
Taxes. Yeah.
We
the
have
economy.
to
Oh
support
my God.
terrible football teams like
Yes.
Manchester United. So like,
there's
all these things. But I get what you mean, and I have been victim,
culprit
to that, because one time I was with someone who really liked a certain thing, and she was like, I have to tell you this, and then I got it then she was like, you only got it because I said so. I was like, but I did appreciate the gesture. She was like, no. So I get it.
The attention bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think communication is not just about saying things. It's also about, expressing things, not necessarily with words.
Yeah.
But when you see how someone has reacted to a gesture that you have done, recognize that.
Yeah.
And then notice that this is the thing that really makes this person happy, like the feather thing. Once you realized, well, they have to tell you, but you can imagine if you had experimented with different things just to understand how this person gets excited.
Yeah.
And then you get it. through your own it's even more exciting when I didn't have to tell you. Like you figured out because you are paying attention to me, you are seeing how I respond to the environment. Like when we go out on the streets and I see a feather and I'm like, oh, that's a cute feather.
And
Recognize.
we get it. We get
Recognize.
it.
Put it in the back of your mind. Hold up. So that when it's that moment when I'm now trying to experiment what things excite you, I'm not far off.
Yeah.
I have rounded up a few things. I know there's this, there's that, there's that. I've seen you do this and that and that. You come to my place. I know you do not like rice. I'm going to cook this and that and that. Pay attention, people. Pay attention to the person you're with.
So she literally tweeted this. I'll never forget. And she tweeted and said, you know what, even those 7 minutes that you always subject me to, I won't miss them. And I was like, why did you?
Oh,
at Nick Ndeda, you could have just left it as, yes.
They at you.